I missed something in the video that I uploaded yesterday, and I just thought I would do a very quick video just to correct it. I had a look at the Black Vault, and Mr. Greenwald is not highlighting the CIA recovering any discs. He has on his site something like 2,000 odd files released by the CIA. You can look at them individually, or you can download the whole thing and go through it if you've got the time and inclination to do so. I don't. But I'm sure with Mr. Greenwald's interest in this, if there was anything in those records about the CIA recovering discs, he would have highlighted that, and he would have said they would have been top of the list. These are the two most interesting. Take a look at these. Now, I wasn't listening carefully enough to Mr. Coulthard yesterday when I did that other video. I did it quite late at night. It was just a feeble excuse, really, I suppose, but it happens to be true. But having watched it again and listening more carefully to what he said, he's not saying that he's read CIA files where the CIA talks about recovering discs. He's read about it. He hasn't read the files. Let's listen a bit more carefully to what he has to say. Now, this is my clip, so it's not terribly good quality. So this is a recording of a recording off a screen. Sorry about that, but I'll have to get one of these programs onto the computer where I can just sort of import this stuff and keep it at reasonable quality. But as I said yesterday, hopefully it's more about the content than the production quality.
Well, mercifully, we're coming to the end of this, towards the end of this hour and 15-minute long book commercial.
And of course, this is the bit from my video, so it's got my commentary on it. Sorry about that. It won't take long.
Now, this I don't believe for a minute.
But at the very beginning of my research, when I was writing my book, I remember I read all the history. I went through the CIA's library. For example, I was reading about CIA documents that showed that there were retrievals.
He was reading about CIA documents that were talking about retrievals. So he's not actually saying that he looked through the CIA files and found this information in the files. He was reading about the CIA. Yeah, this is not the same, is it? Let's just listen to that again. Let's go to there.
I remember I read all the history. I went through the CIA's library. For example,
so he went through the CIA's library. Okay, that's the first part of this. He went through the CIA's library.
I was reading about CIA documents that showed.
And he was reading about CIA documents. So he's not reading CIA documents, he's reading about CIA documents. He doesn't say where he was reading about these CIA documents, does he? So he's looked through the CIA library, and he's not saying that in that CIA library he found these files talking about the CIA recovering discs. These are the file numbers. Go and look at it for yourself. He's saying he's reading about the CIA. Yeah, so what's the source of this information that he's reading? Because it's not the CIA, is it? This is something else.
That there were retrievals of discs. These are still unexplained.
Yeah, and they're going to stay unexplained if you don't explain them. You know, where were you reading about it? So he was reading about it. He looked at the CIA archive, and then he says he was reading about the CIA recovering these discs. Hang on, let's just do that again. Hang on. Let's make sure we got this right.
Now, this I don't believe for a minute.
But at the very beginning of my research, when I was writing my book, I remember
Plug for the book, of course.
I read all the history. I went through the CIA's library.
He went through the CIA's library.
For example, I was reading about CIA documents
he was reading about CIA documents. So what he's talking about here with regard to these disk recoveries aren't in the CIA documents. That's the impression I get from this. What do you think? So I think this is just more trying to keep a little bit of intrigue going with this. You know, he's mentioned his book again, and offers absolutely no evidence for this stuff, for these CIA disk retrievals. Why has no other nation on earth produced tangible evidence of this happening? Why hasn't China produced any evidence? Why hasn't Russia produced any evidence? It's because there is no evidence. And if he's talking about on US soil, it would be far more likely to involve the FBI than the CIA. So yeah, that's just a little more food for thought there, I think, with this pushing this these fellas pushing this UFO UAP is stuff being real agenda. All right. Thanks for watching. Maybe I'll catch you again.